Hi, this is 16, and this is another episode of my legendary campaign with the Choshu. So in this battle, I'm defending a 3-layer fort against a large amount of enemies, actually 2 armies of the Hiroshima faction, and I have absolutely no clue where they will come from. As a result of this, I need to make sure that I'll deploy all around the place, and I will prioritize deploying my garrison on the outer layers because these guys are expendable. And yeah, I'll put some spear units there. Also, I have some elite troops which can decimate the enemy very easily, so I'll spread them around as well, on all direction of course. And I also have some sharpshooters, line infantry, which are really good as well. So the second layer will mostly be my main focus in terms of elite troops. And of course I will probably readjust a couple of my units. Here I have, for example, 26 soldiers, which is really not much. Okay, now that the different units have been deployed around, I'll fill the gaps with my levy infantry. I'll just make sure that everybody is optimized. And of course, if the enemy actually managed to reach that second layer, I'll be ready to pull back to the third one, although I would be surprised if they actually reach the second layer. Okay, there's troops on that side, so I'll put some light infantry on the outer layer here, as well as a few spear levy here. And my general is in the center. I have some artillery as well, which might turn out totally useless. And now let's see what's going on. So there are infantry all around the place. And now I need to choose what I'll prioritize. Okay, there's some artillery coming here. They're firing. Ooh, that was bad. They are destroying the gate, so I'll just put my troops out of there in order to protect them. Okay, the enemy is shooting that unit of levy infantry, so I'll just make them dodge the bullets. And what are these? Yarikashi. Good units. There's actually 3 units of artillery over there. That's pretty good. Now the firefight has begun on that side. While here I'm still playing the dodging bullet game. And I'll react to the enemy Yarikashi here. I'll keep dodging bullets with my levy infantry. Okay, now my line infantry and my Kietai are shooting the enemy, so that should give them something to think about. While here I'm still being bombarded by artillery. Actually, my artillery is shooting at something. I have no clue what, so I'll let them be. They don't. They probably won't be of much of an effect at all in the battle. Well, here I'll deploy in a wider line my levy infantry, and I'll hope for the enemy to run out of ammo. On that side, there seems to be a huge amount of enemy. And that's because the enemy is actually bringing his reinforcements army. So I'll react to that here. I'll pull back my troops here. I'll engage my spear units here, and I'll pull back my troops inside the second layer. As you can see, the Yarikashi eliminated my few garrison levy, and that was expected. It's just a little bothersome. Well, here my artillery is now out of ammo, and here my spear levy are fighting against 3 units of levy infantry. And here my troops are redeployed where they are needed. I'll redeploy these line infantry here and here as well, in order to face the number of enemy. Okay, what else is going on? Yarikashi have been routed, so I'll redeploy my troops on the wall. That will allow them to hopefully be able to take a few shots at the enemy generals before they reach the wall. At the same time, on that side there seems to be a firefight against a couple of levy infantry. While here the enemy has been defeated, but that's normal. I have a couple of units of sharpshooters, and they are really good at shooting enemy from afar. While here my spear levy are largely reduced in number, but the goal of this is really to allow my troops which are inside here to fire on the enemy. So that's a really good thing indeed, but I'll lose probably the units. But at the same time, I'm so advanced in technology that keeping weak levy troops of that sort might not be a good idea. So that's a good move. And here I have my 26 line infantry, which are largely useless. And now the levy infantry here have been routed, even though they were winning against my spear levy. And the reason is that my troops on the wall here did manage to demoralize the enemy. So that's pretty good. And what else is going on? Most of the battle will now focus on that side. And I'll need to check out what kind of troops I have here. So I'll bring my levy infantry over there to support my line infantry here. While here I probably can bring more levy infantry. And I'll deploy my Kietai to face any enemy climbing that wall here. They will be using their needle firing, and that will be quite deadly, hopefully. While here I'll deploy my sharpshooter on the inner layer, and I'll bring my general closer to that side of the action, because that's where the action is going on right now. While here I don't think my presence or the presence of my troops is that necessary. On the other hand, there's still my garrison, which is fighting on that side. I'll just let them be, or perhaps not. I'll just reorganize them a little so they'll be a little more effective against the enemy. Here my levy infantry are supporting my line infantry, and I'll redeploy them into a better way here, while my Kin Hetai will be deployed in needle firing here, which will be very deadly indeed. Mixed with the fact that I have some sharpshooter up there, the enemy won't have much of a chance here if they actually climb the wall. At the same time, here I have nobody to provide suppression fire against the enemy, so I'll bring these units which are on that side and not particularly useful at the moment. And how about here? Okay, seemed that my unit here was routed. Perhaps I should have pulled them back, but it's too late to have remorse. Well, here I'll redeploy my line infantry so that they'll face the enemy, both here and there. And perhaps I should simply send my Kintai on the wall there, or they'll be able to face the enemy in an effective way. I'll redeploy my sharpshooter on that side of the wall to face the enemy, which will climb the wall over here likely. And here the enemy general are still not attacking, which I won't complain about. No, whoops. Selected both units while I was only expecting one. Now the enemy are climbing the wall here, so I'll send my troops over there to provide fire toward that direction. Now my Kintai will likely my Kinte, well, what is Hihetai will largely reduce the number of enemy over here, since they are good shots. While here I'm still keeping my troops to answer the upcoming enemy general charge. And here perhaps I'll remove these troops from the wall and get them in there, because right now I only have a few sharpshooters, and sharpshooters are not really the most reliable defense. And there's quite a bit of troops which are climbing over there. So what I'll do is I'll use one unit of Kinhetai. I'll send some light infantry to replace them on the wall. And once my Kinhetai will be deployed here, I'll put them in near firing, and they should decimate the enemy. Like that. Check this out. 2-rank firing should be good enough to wipe out everybody which is attacking that position over there. I was supposed to have one unit of light infantry which will enter the castle here, but apparently they decided to instead charge the enemy. I guess they misunderstood my commands. Right, we're deploying these on the wall here. While here, I'll redeploy my infantry here if I can, like that, to support my light infantry over here, which are being attacked by a large number of enemies. Now these enemies really seem persistent, and they seem pretty good at resisting being outnumbered. The other end, they seem to be routed now. While my Kietai are shooting them as they flee. So I'll send my units here to shoot the fleeing enemies, while the enemy general is climbing the wall here, and they'll be fired upon by my Kietai, which are on that side of the wall. And here the enemy are fleeing, or about to. So that looked like a victory. Very soon. There's still the enemy generals, which are persistent in their madness. But I have many troops which will put some argument in their brain. And now let's go back to the campaign and see what's happening over there. As a result of this, I'll probably have a good opening to counterattack. So that was a close victory. I killed 2,384 enemies and I lost 800. I lost good part the garrison, 29 infantry here and 1 unit of spear levy. So it's nothing too important at the moment. And hopefully I'll be able to counterattack here. And now the enemy here are doing a sortie. I have very few troops, but very good quality troops. and hopefully that will shows because the enemy are quite numerous, and that will be the battle for the next episode, so see you there.